So I was thinking out loud one day, I haven't met this Dancing with the Stars troupe member, and I thought I should invite her on the show.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Darling,
All right, welcome to another episode of To The Point with Kristyn Burtt, presented by Dance Network and Popcorn Talk. And did you love my corny intro? We had to do it. None other than Dancing with the Stars troupe member, Brittany Cherry's here in the studio.
Hey guys,
right,
I'm
welcome.
so happy to be here.
Okay, this is ridiculous. We've never met before.
We've had like a virtual friendship for about 4 years, maybe almost 5 years now.
Probably.
And, or maybe, did you start? I think I found out about you through Live to Dance, Paul Abdul's show. You started like tweeting us back then.
Probably way back then.
I was like 15, maybe 16. So that's like,
See?
I don't want to say how many years ago.
That was a while ago.
But we've never actually met in person, so I'm so excited to be here.
I know. I've only been Brittany Cherry adjacent. Like, I've been in studio to watch Dancing with the Stars. And
I had no idea.
Yeah, no, and I'm just trying to think. Like, I was at Allison and Twitch's event in December, and I know you were there, but I think I left and you came and we just missed each other.
Oh, I was also disguised as a as just like broken. I had like a huge sling on my arm, and I was like hiding, kind of. I was like, I don't want to be here, but I do because it's so awesome.
Yes, it was a great event. So I'm always like, I was Brittany Cherry adjacent, and now you're officially
Well,
here.
here we are.
I love this. Well, like I tell everyone, I'm like, this is your dance life. This is a whole hour about your career and what you've done. So, and I had a lot of fan questions. Like, people were sending me DMs, like even while I was driving here, they're like, and ask her.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's so funny because whenever I like go Instagram live or whatever, I'm like Q&A, and people are like,
Hey,
what's your favorite food? I'm like, everything.
People have a lot of so you think you can dance questions and a few
Oh.
Dancing with the Stars questions,
Awesome.
trios and things like that. So
I can't wait.
yeah, but so I like to always just kind of start at the beginning and get an idea of training. We were just looking at that super adorable photo that's up there. We were like, look, it's baby Jenna and baby Whitney
Oh my
and
gosh,
baby Lindsay.
So from the beginning, Lindsay, Jenna, Whitney, and myself, we all grew up at the same dance studio, even Brandon also.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've known those girls since I was like 4. Oh my gosh, it's so...
I love that photo.
It's so funny.
They look like figure
We
skating
all
dresses,
look
first
the
of all.
Same, I know.
And it looks like you just won at the Olympics.
I think that was at BYU Nationals, and we had like our team thing. Oh my gosh, I was such a little tiny person.
It's so cute. It really is.
Everybody looks the same, except for I think Jenna looks really different.
Yeah, I think Jenna looks the most different.
I kind of look like an alien, but it's okay.
No, you
I've
look
gotten
adorable.
over it. I grew into my ears, thank goodness.
Everyone has a body part that you have to grow into. You're just
Oh
like,
man, look at those. I could fly with them.
No, you look great. Don't you even worry about
It's
it.
so funny. I love old pictures. But so we grew up in Utah, and we were fortunate enough to like grow up in a studio where all styles of dance were offered. So we did hip hop, jazz, ballet, contemporary, tap, ballroom, Latin ballroom. And I started dancing like tap and ballet when I was 2.5, and then when I was 4 or 5, I saw Ashley Del Grosso.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up at her studio, and I saw her and her partner dancing, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. So I stalked every single boy in my elementary school, and I was like, are you going to be my dance partner? And you know what? I found someone crazy enough to join me, and we competed for a little bit, and then I fell in love, and from there I took competitive Latin ballroom dancing very seriously, and also our company was very competitive. So our jazz company, Jenna's older sister, ran it for a really long time.
Yep.
And
you were at Center Stage. We just want to clarify too, dance studios, because you started at different.
I started
so
at a
Center
studio called Center Stage, and we had singing classes, and Jenna's mom taught us, and then we would go to company with Jenna's sister, and then we all were just like
really into
best
like
friends.
the arts too. It's so great.
I mean, growing up, I would get out of school early, would opt out of gym class.
Mm-hmm.
Kids, don't do that, or do if you're active.
My school let me opt out of gym.
Yeah.
To go to ballet class.
Yeah. So I would like leave school early to go train in my private lessons, and then at 4 o'clock we would start like dance class, and so it's kind of regimented like junior high school. Like there's periods almost. So like every single day we would have different dance classes, and there's like a super structured schedule. And so every single day from 4 till about 7:30, 8:30 at night, we'd be training and practicing. And then after that, sometime we'd find time to do homework. And it was crazy. But when I was 13, I was dancing competitively with Brandon Armstrong, who's also on the troupe with me. And we had known a bunch of the pros on the show, and they were like, they're having this kids competition. So everybody submitted to be a part of the Dancing with the Stars kids competition. And lo and behold, Brandon and I get chosen, and they have us on the show. We do like a little kids thing, and we end up winning it. And ever since then, we've just sort of maintained this awesome friendship and camaraderie with the show, and they've always brought us back. And so we kind of grew up dancing on Dancing with the Stars, which is so surreal.
And you were on Dancing with the Stars in what, like 2007?
Oh man,
Yeah, I think when you guys were kids, I think it was 07.
13.
Yeah.
So yes.
And I think what's interesting too is I went back, there's a lot of the videos out there. This season, when Brandon joined, everyone was like, are you guys going to replicate some of your dances?
I'm actually a little surprised that we didn't, but maybe some
like
other
one
time.
bumper. Like we just, one
That
bumper.
would have been so fun. We didn't even have one bumper together.
I think we need that to happen, I think. Because
know.
it is so interesting. What do you remember from your time on Dancing with the Stars when you were 13?
Oh my gosh, I was so nervous. I remember our very first dance we performed. The first spin I did like some like little flicky thing with my leg, and I got my skirt caught, and I was like, shoot, what am I gonna do? Ended up happening. It like worked out, and I slipped in a little bit, and I was like, of course, I'm
Dancing with the
clumsy.
Stars.
This would happen to me, but it's fine. It all worked out. I don't remember anything that the judges said to me. I remember just having an awesome time and falling in love with performing live, because that was the first time besides stage performances, that was the first time I'd ever been broadcasted on live TV. And so it's a hard concept to grasp as a 13-year-old. I don't know about anymore because of social media and stuff, but that was the biggest platform at the time to be a part of, is television.
It's top 10 network show too. I mean, and it's also at the time when everyone was still watching TV versus
Live.
watching it on the internet or DVRing it and everything. So you have to think like the mass of people watching was probably even double what it is now, because things have changed how we view TV.
Exactly. So in hindsight, I'm like, whoa, that was crazy. But at the time, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just like, I love this feeling, and I got hooked, and I've been doing live television shows ever since. That's been my main
That's amazing.
niche, I guess.
That's really. Were there any particular pros when you were on Dancing with the Stars at the time that you kind of like remember, or you're like, oh, I love them, or I idolize them?
The competitive ballroom circuit is very small, and I had trained with Max, and I had trained with Corky and Shirley, and I had trained with Louis Van Amstel. Like, those are my teachers. And Tony Dovolani I've known for years. Like, so it was more so like, I'm here with all my teachers.
So cool.
It's so crazy. So like, they were also all just coming from the competitive circuit, and so it was all very fresh. Now everybody's been doing Dancing with the Stars for 10 plus years or whatever, but yeah, so it was just so natural. It felt like I was home, and ever since then it's been it's been a home to me, and I love it. It's my favorite job.
Oh, I love that. Now, at what point did you guys all switch to Vibe? Like you said, maybe you were around 12 or so?
Yeah, we were, I would say probably like 11, 12-ish, like right before I did Dancing with the Stars.
Okay, so we're always like Vibe Tribe. Like
yeah, in Vibe Tribe. That's like
The
where
Vibe
most
Tribe.
of us are from.
Yep. I love that. And, this is the one thing, and I was just telling you before we went on the air, I said, what was really interesting is a few years ago, and I'd have to go back and look at what season it was, I had both Mindy and Lindsay on for AfterBuzz, So You Think You Can Dance, and they were just talking about like prepping people to get on the show. And do you feel like when you were going to audition for So You Think You Can Dance, like did Vibe sort of like prep you for the audition, going like, this is the experience we've had with Lindsay and Whitney getting on and things like that?
It's I had a little bit of a different journey than the rest of the girls from Utah, just because I moved to Arizona my senior year of high school.
Okay.
So I wasn't particularly there. I flew into Utah to have Alan, one of my teachers, Alan and Rick, choreograph some solos and just kind of help me out with some content, because at the time I wasn't really doing much choreography. And so I did that. But for the most part, I just hounded my technique. And I would say for anyone going into any reality television show or preparing for anything of that sort. Just be yourself. I think that's the most stressful thing is people get like, camera, oh my gosh, what do I say? This is my favorite dog and I don't know what else about. Like, people don't know what to say about themselves.
They don't. And the number one thing I get from former contestants, they're always like, don't judge me on who I was on the show.
Oh my gosh.
Never didn't feel like
Oh my
myself. I get that
gosh.
all the time. And it's so funny. Because sometimes I'm like, sometimes people go out there and they kill it. Sometimes people don't do as well on the show and then they go out in their career and they kill it. And sometimes people do both, but you just never know.
You never know. And a lot of that show is about showing who you are and letting America fall in love with you. And as kids, they have kids on the show, and especially back when social media wasn't such a big thing and personalities weren't as big, I feel. It was a little bit of an awkward transition, and you didn't really know how to act on television. And oh man, it's so funny when I look at my interviews from back then.
Well, what was your experience like? Because I'm always fascinated, honestly, by the audition process and then going into Vegas week because, you go out there and you do your solo and they're like, great, here's a ticket to Vegas. But really, when you get to Vegas, it's on and you are so tired, but you're working all the time and you're trying to impress everyone.
People think that they like to make it look more dramatic in Vegas. No, it is the most intense experience that I think every dancer should experience. It's kind of like Hell Week. And I am so glad that I did it. I would have done it a million more times just because I learned so much. It was such an awesome experience. One of the hardest things I've ever done. It's your hours are long. You're getting little to no sleep. You're so nervous. You don't even want to eat. All while being surrounded by so many supportive people, at least for my season. It was very... everybody at Vegas Week and at Green Mile was so supportive, and the camaraderie between all of the competitors and the contestants was so beautiful. Everybody was it was a beautiful experience.
That was one of my favorite seasons, is season 10, by the way.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, there's always certain seasons that resonate for you, and contestants where you're just like, I just loved how everything unfolded and that kind of thing. Season 10, season 4, when you go back to some of the old school ones. But season 10.
You can tell when people love each other.
Yes.
You can tell when everybody is just like, yes. It was a great group of people, and we try to have little reunions here and there. I know everybody is really spread out, and everybody from my season is killing it. Everybody is so successful, and everybody
very
is
well cast that season.
Yeah, I'm so proud and stoked for everyone on that season because they're all doing amazing things.
Well, let's talk about you getting on the show, because this was, and I went back because people were like, please ask about this, please ask about this. And then I went back and watched our AfterBuzz show and us talking about this. And you're probably knowing what I'm talking about. That awkward elimination. Because it was new format, they wanted to try something different, and it was the elimination heard around the world. Because I even Googled old articles, and Hollywood Reporter had said something, and Entertainment Weekly. I mean, big publications were upset for you guys.
We were the guinea pigs for sure.
So it was you and Carlos.
Espinoza, I think.
Carlos Garland.
Garland.
Yes.
Shoot.
I'm like, Garland.
Shoot. Carlos. Yes. I haven't seen him since then. It's so crazy. Yes, that was definitely an experience.
Do you remember what was going through your head in that moment?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Jeff Thacker is one of the executive producers on the show. Papa Jeff. And I mean, he comes off as a little intimidating at times, and so, as a competitor, you just want to keep it together in front of him always. And I remember getting eliminated and having to dance after I was eliminated. And
think about this, you guys. She got eliminated at the top of the show and still had to dance. You were dancing with Blueprint at the time.
Blueprint, yes. So show starts. They announce bottom 3, and they're like, okay, solos. And I was like, okay.
Dance for my life.
It's fine. I got this. Did it. I felt okay about it. Looking back, I was like, I totally could have done better. But that's what you always do.
Of course.
And yeah, I got eliminated. And I don't know if I was shocked because I kind of felt it coming, but
everyone says they feel it coming. Everyone says.
I just felt it. I was like, it's happening. It's going to happen. And I kept it together on camera. And then when I went back to change, I just lost it. And Jeff was like, it's okay. And I was like, I don't want to cry in front of you, but I can't handle it. And
I would have ugly cried. I'm sorry.
oh, it was not a cute cry. I don't know if you watch it back and you watch my dance with Blueprint, my face is so puffy. Oh my gosh.
And that we talked about that on AfterBuzz, and we went back and looked, and Alex Wong was in the studio with us that day, and he was like, why did they do this? You know, he's been around a long time with the series, and he was like, I can't believe, he goes, they have to like figure this out and do something different. And
they changed it next week.
The next week it was changed, and it's so not fair because it's like you guys got, you know, you were the guinea pigs.
It's okay. You know what? I learned I had the most amazing experience. I learned some awesome lessons, and it was very humbling. It was awesome. Like, I got to perform on one of the biggest television shows at the time, and share this amazing experience with these amazing people, and then also learn that, you know,
it doesn't always go your way sometimes, because auditions will happen and you're like, I did great. Wait, I didn't get cast.
So it was a great lesson. I think it's a lesson that every aspiring anyone should learn at some point. And yeah, and I hopped on a plane to New York the next day, and was there for 3 months, and I was like, I'm gonna go try something new.
What did you do in New York for 3 months?
I did auditions, and I made friends, and I took classes, and my dad was living there at the time, and so I just like hung out. It was so fun.
That's great.
Yeah, it was great. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not upset about it.
Well, you shouldn't be. And, you know, I have said this a million times, because when people are like, I wish I had made it to top 10 or blah, blah, and I'm always like, Tony Bellissimo, amazing career, got voted off first. I've used you, Brittany Cherry. I've used Teddy Coffee, who made it, you know, somewhere around like 11, 12, somewhere around there. But I'm like, he has an amazing career. You can't let what happens on So You Think You Can Dance define you, because, Comfort. We just had Comfort in here a couple of weeks ago. She got voted off twice. She's one of the few. And she was in the bottom 3 more times than anyone, 6 times in total. Got voted out twice because they brought her back because someone got injured. But I was
now she's one of the biggest all-stars. She is in every movie. And
Missy Elliott, I mean, she just did a Nike commercial. I'm like, you can't let all you can do is use it as a springboard for something else.
Well, you gotta like use that platform and go up from there.
That's right.
It's at the end of the day, in hindsight, being out in the audition world and in the industry, it's on your resume. They don't know when you were eliminated or what happened and who did what or who fell. Nobody knows.
They don't remember that.
It was an experience, and I don't know. Everybody that has been on that show, for the most part, is killing it. I think it teaches you awesome lessons as a person and as a dancer, and your work ethic definitely changes. And yeah,
and you'll always be in the
awesome dancers.
Yeah, and you'll always be in the So You Think You Can Dance family. The choreographers that are working on that show are top notch. So, you know, that opens doors, because if you get along with a choreographer, they're like, great, use you for that. Great, use you for that. Happens all the time.
100%. And that is how I spiraled into doing Derek and Julianne's tour, although I knew them. I also knew Nappy Tabs, and they choreographed their tour. And straight after that,
you did the first Move tour, right?
I did the first Move tour, which was awesome. It was a great show to be a part of. That was my first tour ever.
Yeah, and I kind of love that, because it's like, we weren't sure, no one was sure what to expect from, like, you know, their dance tour. We knew it was going to be great, but you're like, I can't believe that they're going out on their own and they're doing a dance. Like, this was a big thing, and I don't think people, like, realize now, because now they've done 3, but I was like, what you guys did and, like, sold out and accomplished, this isn't like a rock group, this is dance. And
it's a full 2-hour dance show, and they have just gotten better and better. Each tour that they've done, I'm so bummed I didn't get to be a part of it, but I've seen videos and I went to a few of their shows, and it's just unreal, the things that they do. That team, the Nappy Tabs team, Derek and Julianne Hough, Tassandra does that tour also,
Chavez, yep.
And
Kyle
Hanagami.
Yep.
So that team is just unreal, and they just slay everything they touch, because their shows are like rock concerts, except for it's not. It's a dance show.
But that's a tribute to, like, what everyone has created and the success that they've worked in. And to be a part of that, you get to see, you're like, oh my gosh, all these people are willing to pay for dance. Where 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that dance tour would never have happened. That's what's so amazing.
Totally. Well, also, I think that, like, as artists, as dancers, we aim to make people feel the way we feel when we listen to music. You know, get sort of an emotional connection to somebody through our movement, and I think these shows definitely give that opportunity and that platform, because nobody thinks of dance that way. It's just more of entertaining. So these shows are always so exciting and so pumped with like awesome choreography, but they also have such vulnerable, beautiful moments that people in the audience are just captivated. And it's such a different energy than a rock concert.
It is. And I think a lot of people are inspired through dance because sometimes it's like, oh, I can't do that, but I love watching it. Or it inspires people to get in the studio, and maybe they'll never reach that level, but it inspires them to feel or work through things. And you hear that all the time. And I'm sure you've heard from people that are like, I just didn't want to go to the gym, so I started going to dance class and I lost 50 pounds. And
totally.
It's amazing.
Well, also, like, body language. That's something that every single person on this entire planet can understand. And so having that be something that people can relate to, even though you don't necessarily speak the same language. I've had that happen a lot. People are like, I don't speak English, but I love you. I don't really know how they tell me, but I'm like, I get it. But it's just so cool that we get to touch people who across the board, across the world, in different ways, just through our movement. It's so cool.
I know you've known the Huffs for a really long time, but what do you think that you learned working on that tour with them? Because that was a big risk for them to do. People were going to buy tickets and go see it no matter what, but it's still a risk of putting yourself out there and doing something that really hadn't been done in a while.
I mean, for us as dancers, I don't think we were necessarily nervous about that. I think we were all more excited to be a part of something bigger because not only is this a show, but they were encouraging people to get up and move and be better. And we were hosting events like that. And they now have Move Interactive.
Yeah,
they do yoga classes and invite people to join them and encourage people to be better.
And motion equals emotion. I think I have that. Yes,
yes,
that's his big,
exactly.
Derek's big tag.
Yep. So it was cool to be a part of something that's bigger than just dancing. And so I think we were more excited than nervous. But I think the biggest thing that I learned from that tour was just, I don't know. Tour life is a very unique thing.
It's hard, and I will tell people it's fun because there's so many things you experience, but it's hard at the same time, and it's hard to be like, oh, I'm traveling the country, and then you're like, but it's hard. I miss home, and
So I think we all learned to find a balance between everything that we need to do and things that we want to do, and trying new things, but not being too like I don't want to do anything. So, And just doing a show every single day. That tour was the hardest tour I have been a part of personally because we were doing double show days almost like 4 days a week, and then we would have shows 6 days a week. So it was a lot of work.
How old were you at that point? Were you like 19?
I was like 19. Wow.
You forget about that.
20. I maybe had just turned 20.
Still a baby.
I was a little baby. Oh my gosh.
Still a baby.
It seems like a lifetime ago.
It does. It's funny. Not that I was on tour with you guys, but that first tour feels like a lifetime ago because we've just seen different tours from them. We've seen Max and Val do a tour. We've seen the Dancing with the Stars tour, Revive. They're all great. And it's just amazing that I'm like, that almost feels like 8 years ago, but it's not.
Trust me, I know. My body feels like it was 8 years ago. But yeah, so from there, I had worked with Nappy Tabs more intimately on that job. Because on So You Think, we kind of worked together, but it was very like a huge group.
Did Putting on the Ritz, though, with them, right?
Yes, that was the only number that I did with them.
Okay, but I've watched that. Let me just tell you. I don't know if this is embarrassing, if I should say that I've probably watched it more than 50 times.
That's amazing.
I love it so much, and I always show it to my husband, and I'm like, look, this is one shot, just one shot, watch. And he'll be like, I know, I've seen it. Like,
it was so much fun to put together. Like, at the time, that was no one had ever done that before. So,
and they won the Emmy for it.
I know. It was so cool.
I love watching it just because you like all of a sudden you're and also because I know the layout of backstage as well. It's one of those things sometimes I'm like, okay, let me just figure out like where they ran and how they got to the next location.
Have you been in the So You Think audience?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because
and backstage
backwards
with
from the Dancing with the Stars one.
Yes, and also I've been backstage on Press Line too. So
I don't know where that is.
You did where you did Press Line.
Oh, Press Line.
Yes.
Our Press Line. I thought that was like a TV show.
No, you're like, what is that? It's in a hidden studio. Like
it's like really a new thing.
Super secret. No, but the Press Line where you guys would after the show too.
Oh, okay,
so
yes.
I kind of like you can kind of like feel.
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah, it was a really exciting number.
How many times did you have to rehearse that?
Oh man.
Because that's a timing thing with not only just the dancers, but also with props and the cameramen that were steady cams.
That was during the finale, I think. Right?
I thought that was your first episode. It was the beginning. It was the first episode.
Oh my gosh, see, that's how.
And I think they showed it again. Via tape on the finale, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah, maybe.
Because they're like, we're not doing this again.
I know. It was so much fun. We rehearsed it countless times, and like the transition of hiding from camera and running to the places that you need to go and not messing up. Like, it's one take. You don't get to do it over again. It's the same as live. But when you have to avoid the steady cam, that's a whole nother thing. And you have to be out of the steady cam's way because he is most important.
Yes.
So it was definitely a learning experience. But that definitely helped when I was in on So You Think, because we do a lot of steady cam work. We do a lot of one shots. And so it definitely helped me prepare for future jobs.
That's awesome. I love that. I do. I was like, oh, I forgot you did that with Nappy Tabs. So working with Nappy Tabs on the tour with Move Tour, is that what brought you to Ed Sheeran?
Yes, it is. That's what I was getting at. So basically, I finished the tour. I was doing a job in Utah with Kyle Hanagami, and Tabitha called me up, and she was like, Tabitha called me, and she was like, I have this gig, and we're not too sure if we're going to need you for the actual job, but we would love to bring you and Paul, or you and a partner, whoever you would like to dance with, on board just to help kind of create some partnering. I was like, of course, I would love to.
Don't say no to Nappy Tabs.
Of course. She's like, it's for this guy named Ed Sheeran. I was like, okay.
This guy,
it's casual.
No big deal.
So, as contemporary dancers, we grew up listening to him. Not grew up, but known about him for years. So I was like, yes, of course, I would love to. So I get back to Utah, and she's like, oh my gosh, my story is getting mixed up.
What state are you in, Brittany?
I don't know, guys. I never know where I am.
you?
So I get back to LA, and they're like, who would like to dance with? And I was like, Paul, of course. Paul's my favorite partner.
And was that did you know Paul pre So You Think You Can Dance?
I did not. We met, so
and then
Paul
he did the
and
tour.
I met at an audition here in LA prior to dancing So You Think You Can Dance.
Okay.
So we were doing an audition, and after you're done doing the routine, you're doing it with like maybe 10 other people on the floor. Everybody starts to freestyle and do their things, and Paul decides to do a back handspring, back layout situation and nearly missed my head. Everyone in the room was like, what? So he almost killed me, and then we like briefly met, and then I saw him at the So You Think You Can Dance auditions, and it was just like best friendship at first sight.
Great. And then you did the tour with him.
Then we did the tour together.
Yep.
And
That's the Move Tour.
The Move Tour, to catch everyone
I know,
up.
so many tours.
I know. And so I was like, of course, Paul and I create so well together. We've choreographed in the past together. Of course, I'll bring on. So we meet Ed Sheeran backstage at Jimmy Fallon with some dance moves that we've prepared a little bit just to see like what his dance ability is, because we had seen a video of him dancing online prior in a UK version of like High School Musical audition.
What were your initial thoughts?
That was scary.
You're like, how are we going to do this?
Sorry, Ed.
Because he looks good in the video. So, yeah.
He slayed it.
Amazing.
But like leading up to it, his manager was like, look at this video of Ed dancing. And we were like, okay, we're going to have to work with that. But we get in there and we have a few lifts, we have a few footworks, we have a few like turns just to see his mobility and see what he's like. And he's actually really, really strong. He just lifted me up like a feather. I was like, oh, dang.
Great.
Amazing. We can work with that. And afterwards he was like, so you're the girl I'm dancing with? And Nappy Tabs look at each other and I'm like, yep. And I was like,
that's how you found out.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't know. They were like, we have to check with his team and whatever. So from there, we workshopped the choreography here in Los Angeles. And then Nappy Tabs sent Paul and I out on tour with Ed. That was very trusting of them.
That is extremely trusting, and it's kind of amazing. I watched the Ed Sheeran like behind the scenes video of it, and I'm like, holy cow, they're just like literally on tour, and then they're like, you're off stage, okay, great, here's like 15 minutes, we need to grab you.
Exactly. every single day was different. Some days we'd have them for like 4 hours. Some days it'd be half hour there. We'd have to push the couches everywhere and make dance space. Or in the halls of arenas usually have lots of space, but it's like concrete.
Was it a U.S. tour? Where were you going?
Yes, we were in the U.S.
Okay.
And it was like, I would say 2.5, maybe 3.5 weeks.
Okay.
But just killing it. And he was doing so well. He blew us away, really. It was a bit of a slow start, but once he got the hang of it and started retaining things and speaking the dancer language, which is very, very difficult to do if you're not a dancer.
It's a totally different vocabulary.
Oh, yeah. And just like the way we speak to people is just different. And they're like, what is that? What does that mean?
Yeah, if you're like, do this on the 6 count, and then, but he has an understanding though of musicality.
Totally.
So,
and when he was talking to us about like the dances, I think you can see this in the behind the scenes video, but he was talking to Nappy Tabs about how they choreographed it to every single breath and every single
yeah, she was like,
yeah, everything is like, he's like taking a breath in, and we're like we move to his words and to what he's feeling and portraying in his song. And we got to a point where he knew the dance and it was going well, and he was getting a little frustrated. He's like, I don't know if I can do this. And we were talking about performance quality, because dancers we emote. That's what we do. And we were like, you can't sing your songs like with a dead face and no heart, right? It's the exact same thing as dancing. Like, you need to convey what you're saying in your song through your movement and through your eyes and through your breath. And so we worked on it a bit, but come show day, he was like there, and he performed his heart out, and it was just such a magical day.
Did you guys shoot in New York?
No, we shot here in Los Angeles.
Oh, you did?
At the Biltmore Hotel.
Oh, downtown. That's why it looks like New York. The Biltmore Hotel is beautiful.
Stunning. They transformed this ballroom into just a magical place. They laid a gorgeous ballroom floor. They like stacked these like chair statues around the ballroom, and we had the most amazing lighting crew. I think it was the lighting guy from like Michael Jackson's music videos or something epic. I was like, whoa.
Stunning. And just like the crooked heart, like I love that. Where you guys are like on the floor, that when they do the floor work, it looks really good. It's just like, you're like, it's so simple, but it makes it just as magical.
Oh, it was amazing. Emil Neva is the guy who directed that, and he just did a splendid job. It was awesome. And his team, like Ed Sheeran's team, is just the most amazing people to work with. It was by far one of my favorite experiences, and I got to share it with one of my best friends, Paul, and who doesn't get enough credit. He helped so much. He was such a big part of that video, just helping teach and just being there and being a friend. It's hard for guys to learn to dance from girls, especially if they're not dancers. They get a little like, I don't know. It's just easier to see it when a guy is doing it. So yep. Paul, you rock. Love you.
Yeah, well, especially for lifts, I think it's really important for him to be able to show, like, you need to grab her here, and, like, this is where the weight balance is, and things like that.
And it was a full-on 4-minute routine, and we would run it over and over and over again. He lost something like 25 pounds or something.
No.
Within, like, a few months of the experience.
That's amazing.
And I may be lying. I don't know exactly how much.
He was heavier, though. I didn't think
he dropped it, and he felt amazing.
That's why people love doing Dancing with the Stars. They're like, I'm so skinny.
But yeah, it was just an awesome experience.
Oh, I love that. Now, when it became this monster hit, I looked today, it's like 1.6 billion, not even million. And I was like, holy cow.
I don't even think like that has registered in my brain fully.
Yeah.
That is so many people. Like,
it is, and obviously it's people like me who have watched it more than once.
Yeah, people have seen it, but that's so many times, and I mean, even if it was just 1 billion or a million, that's still so many people, and it's just hard to fathom.
Well, we were talking too. I was like, "Are you sick of the song?" Because I go, "I love the song. Like, it resonates." I had this is just a little personal note, but I had a really lousy 2014, and like this song sort of like was encapsulating sort of like the end of like this really lousy time period.
Aww.
But so I always like when I listen
the
turning point, and it's really interesting because I listen to it and every time I get that like I feel it. It's so amazing. So I was watching it today and I'm like, oh, I haven't watched this in a while, and I was like, oh my God, it brings me back to like that one place in time.
That's amazing. That's amazing that like music can transport you.
Yeah, it really can.
Yeah. I think that it is the #1 most requested wedding song of the past 2.5 years.
I buy it. Is it your wedding song?
Oh, jeez.
The pressure on your future husband.
Right? I'm like, sweetie, you wanna do this?
Okay,
dance?
the lift goes like
this. No, you're not doing it right.
I'm gonna do an aerial in my wedding gown.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Actually, so many people have contacted me. I can't even tell you how many people have reached out to me about my dress in the video.
Really?
Yes. So many people are like, where did you get your dress? I'm getting married. I want that dress as my wedding gown. And I'm like,
was it custom for the job?
well, okay, so it all happened so quickly. I didn't have any fittings or anything prior. Or maybe I had one the night before, but we had like 10 options to show the director the next morning at like 5 in the morning. And they were all so beautiful and so extravagant. And there was a bustier in the corner. And I was like, because he wasn't loving any of them. I was like, can I try this on? Like, do you have some briefs? And we found like a light blue chiffon little thing to wrap around me. We literally made this outfit at like 6 in the morning.
It's beautiful.
And he was like, done.
That's it.
It's just a bustier, ladies.
Look at that. You can have a bustier and some briefs and a little chiffon thing for your wedding.
Pin it on, you're good.
It's 6 a.m. on your wedding day.
Yeah, I would say it probably in total cost maybe $200.
Wow.
Yeah. It was so simple, and I think that's what the dance needed. It didn't need to be over the top glam. It didn't need to be a ball gown. It didn't need to be anything but simplicity, because the dance and the entire song just spoke for itself.
Oh, that's amazing. And you're gonna be like 95 years old, and you can be like, look at this. This is me.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be an old lady. I was like, dang.
No, you should be so proud of something like that. It really is. Because it is so timeless. I think that's one of those things. People will always look back on that.
Totally.
It's not like God, that was a crazy one-hit wonder moment. It's anything but that. So
yeah, like you said, it's timeless, and I think it's going to be like one for the books. It's going to be a song that is just like always there.
Always. When they
a classic.
Yeah, when they go the top like 100 classic songs of all time, it's on the list 100%. Dancing with the Stars. The video was what you did in the fall,
yes,
and then
fall.
Yeah. So you're kind of coming off of like this crazy wave of like what it is, and you start at season 20 that following spring season. That was 2015.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. I have been involved with Dancing with the Stars on and off since the time I was on it when I was 13. So they would bring me in for like weekly contracts or have me for like 5 weeks of a season. And I think after I worked with Ed, I had another season of like, I was there for like 9 weeks out of the 10 or 11.
Which is ridiculous. Why don't they give you a contract at that point? Yeah,
I know,
whatever.
But so I think I had one of those seasons, and then I was on for season 20.
So then you're like an official troupe member.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So I was going to say, because it's always so interesting to ask people like, how did you get contacted about troupe? Because some people have an audition, some people have a meeting, but they obviously already knew who you were. But did you start coming in more and more after your So You Think appearances? And
I had like the second I turned 18, or even before, I was coming regularly. But when I was 18 was when I started really being there and started having a bit of a more presence on the show. A lot of people ask me that question. I came in for an audition when I was 18 after So You Think You Can Dance, and they were like, wait.
I know the timing of it's like.
I know, it's also blurry.
Well, you had a really fast, like the time between like high school, So You Think, Move, like you had a really fast year, Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of stuff.
I feel like I've been here 5 years now. Just past 5 years a couple weeks ago. Wow. And I feel like it's just zoomed past.
It has.
But, okay, so prior to So You Think You Can Dance, I believe, I auditioned for Dancing with the Stars. And they were like, maybe try out for So You Think You Can Dance, experience that, and we can revisit this conversation. And then I ended up being on the show and experiencing that. And then I started being on the show a little bit more. But after that, I didn't have to audition. I don't know. They know who they want, I think.
Yeah. And then they're just like, okay, this is the troupe. This is what
a
it
lot
is.
of it is unknown. Actually, you know what? She knows more than anyone does. I don't know why. You always come out with these tweets, and I'm like,
how did she know that?
that's happening? What?
Who?
Huh? Who's that? Who that?
I don't know.
She always knows everything, and it blows me away. I'm always like, who is this girl?
Who is she? I do have a whole phone of phone numbers. You know, and here's the thing. I used to like kind of seek out like, got anything for me? And I don't anymore. I really like just kind of lay back and let it, if it's going to, I don't want to force it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to force news. I don't want to force scoop.
She always has the scoop. Always.
Scoop. So I kind of like let it like roll in, and it's funny. And this is about World of Dance, but I mean, I literally got a random phone number come in via text on Sunday, and they were like, we need to meet with you. We're in town. And I was like, I don't even know who this is. They didn't give me a name, a number. I only knew it was World of Dance related because they sent a link. And it turned out to be Kyle Van Newkirk's mother, who is going to be, he's doing the big duel tonight with Les Twins, that they're all, but I was like, where are the people just like passing my number like
right?
around?
You're
like, because I've never had any, I don't have my number published, like, but there's like a underground movement of people passing my number around. So it's crazy.
I mean, it's good for you.
It is good. And, you know, and I sit on a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I don't talk about anymore because I just feel like I'm like, yeah, it doesn't help anyone.
Not necessary.
Not necessary. I mean.
Can we talk about Keone and Mari's Hosier piece?
Oh, my gosh.
I've probably watched that maybe 20 times. It is just absolutely beautiful.
And, you know,
I got chills. I
They're
don't get
amazing.
chills easily, and it was unreal.
And I think what people don't realize that we've seen them on So You Think, they've choreographed a ton, but I don't think people realize, oh, they're also dancers. Like they have their own career. And so I love that World of Dance has created this awakening of what their work is, because their work is so beautiful.
Oh, it's unreal. I don't know if you guys have like checked out their videos that they make, but they're all pretty moving. And it's so crazy because everybody thinks like hip hop is so like, oh, hip hop, crazy, be crazy. And they.
So when she choreographs your next hip hop dance, just know what it's going to look like.
Just this.
I'll be crazy.
So happy. No, please don't let me choreograph any hip hop anytime soon.
Me neither. Don't you worry.
Oh my gosh. But their movement is so simple yet so intricate, and they're one of the best storytellers, I think, as artists via dancing.
Yeah. They have a fluidity, a lyrical quality that's just stunning. It really is.
I'm like, you guys are couple goals.
Total couple goals.
Guys, I love you.
I
hope to work with you one day.
I know. I'm hoping they're moving forward on the whole. I actually don't know who wins World of Dance. I know a lot of people that get eliminated in the next few rounds, but I'm like, no one will tell me who won. And I'm like, they must have an ironclad agreement, because I'm like, people sing on all the other shows like, I got the information, here's the winner. World of Dance people are like, beep.
Yeah, I think they have a pretty tight lock on those.
It's ironclad.
But you know.
I know. Well,
it's a great show.
It is a great show. I'm having so much fun with it, I have to say. I have to also ask you, because I got a lot of questions about this. You've done some significant trios on Dancing with the Stars, and people always like want to know about the trios and what goes on. And I think the most recent one, the one that's in my brain, and I'm just so you know, I'm a Simone Biles like super fan.
Are you?
Oh my god, like since she was like 14, so I've been there from the beginning all the way through the Olympics to Dancing with the Stars. And I love that she was like, I love having you in studio. I felt like, 'cause she has a female coach for gymnastics, and I was like, I think she likes having a female presence around just to kind of like help her out a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I think that I was put with her to sort of give that feminine presence in the room, because it's really, really not common to have a celebrity dancer and then a female dancer. Rewind. Celebrity, female, and then a female pro dancer dancing together for a trio. It's normally like two guys and the celebrity girl, or vice versa. And I think that having me in the room definitely opened up a different side of her. Mm-hmm. And we became besties right away. And she was so sweet and so warm. And I think it definitely added a different element to their rehearsals, because she is a gymnast and she does work so hard. And I think it was awesome to have a friend in the room. Not that Sasha's not her friend,
but he's there to train her and get her going.
The teacher. And so at times it gets very serious. And as athletes and as Olympians that's a thing. They're very, very hard workers, and their work ethic is unreal. But it was a really, really fun experience, and it was fun to create with Sasha, and it was definitely a challenging experience to not only choreograph to this song. It was a very difficult song to dance to.
There's the photo.
Oh my gosh.
Of the three of you.
Oh, so fun. I miss them.
I know. Well, can I ask about that moment? I was like, that moment, the clapback. And you were laughing. Like, I think everyone was kind of stunned.
I always laugh.
When you're like, this is uncomfortable. What am I going to do?
But you know what? I think what she said was great. That's how she felt. And, that's true.
I felt watching it as an audience member, I was so uncomfortable with what the judges were saying, because I was like, is anyone listening to this? This is going down a road that they don't need to. And then you could see her face, and I was like, holy cow, she's worked with Marta Caroli, who's like the toughest Olympic coach ever. And I'm like, this is what's upsetting her. It's not Marta Caroli, Olympic size, but I was like, I could feel like they were just digging somewhere that I was like, oh, they hit a nerve. And I was like, and I thought her answer was actually perfect. I was like,
no, I did too. But in the moment, it was definitely like, whoa.
Okay.
Whoa. Okay. I like it.
She's feisty, and that's what I like about her. And that's why she wins gold medals.
Oh, you have to have that feist and that fire to be the best, and she is the best. So
why she's a goat. Greatest of all time.
Oh, I was like, what's that?
Goat. Hashtag goat.
She's amazing.
She is amazing.
Yeah, that was definitely, I didn't know what to do with my face.
I wouldn't either. But
I think you see everyone doesn't really know what to do with their face, but
Sasha's like, what do I do? Hug her?
No, but what she said was perfect. I think it was the right thing to say. Yeah. I think she should always be genuine, and I think that's what they wanted. That's why they were saying that, is because they want a genuine performance from her, and I think that's sort of difficult for athletes, because it is so like, I'm gonna smile because this is my routine. Yeah. Whereas, like I said earlier, like dancers emote, and that's what they wanted to see, and that's what they were pushing for. Yeah. And they got a genuine response. So they can't be mad.
No.
And
I don't think that the judges were, but it was funny to me in listening to all of it. Like, Tom apologized because he was like, I think I pushed something that I shouldn't have. And then, but I was like, I wondered if Carrie Ann like understood in the end that maybe she just touched a little nerve.
I don't think anyone takes anything too personally.
They're just all like, whatever.
I mean, it's constructive criticism.
Yeah, and you got to take it and back to the rehearsal room the next week.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everybody's family there. So, and as an athlete, she knows how that is.
Oh, she's seen it all.
Your coaches yell at you, and then the next day you're like, hi, how are you?
She was under the Caroli regime. She has seen it all. Yeah,
exactly.
And she won a gazillion gold medals. So
I know.
I was like, again, GOAT. She is the greatest of all time.
Oh my gosh, so funny. No, I think it was great and eloquently put. Just maybe not so. No one was prepared for that answer. That's all.
No, but I loved it. I was like, you go.
Yes, sassy.
Do it.
I like it.
Do it, sassy. Exactly.
No, but that was a really, really fun trio to be a part of.
When do you think you guys will know about season 25? Do you know? Is it literally like August?
I am always the last person to know, so I have no idea.
So do you want me to call you when I hear?
Okay, when you find out, let me know. And
like,
oh man, I mean, things are constantly changing. Mm-hmm. In the off seasons, they are working on casting celebrities and working on special guest performances, and they are trying to plan as much in advance as possible, but things change so last minute, and so it's literally down to the very last second. Things are constantly changing, and so we never know.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because sometimes a pro has already been announced, and then the celebrity pulls out. They don't have the pro and celeb matchup, and
yeah,
that happens.
Yep, it does.
And it's upsetting for the fans, I understand, but it's television, and unfortunately things do change moment to moment with those contracts.
Well, the awesome thing about Dancing with the Stars is we are a family, and if you're not here one season, you're back the next. Yeah. Or not every season happens for every single person, and yes, that's upsetting because we all love what we do, and it's such a fun show to be a part of, but it's always a revolving door.
Yeah, it is. And people, go on to work on other projects, and then they come back for a season. I actually have Dina Katz's phone number because I interviewed her earlier. I guess it was I love her too. And I feel like I want to abuse the fact that I have her cell phone number and be like, will you please cast Amanda Bynes, who wants to make a comeback?
Oh my gosh.
For season 25?
I saw her first interview back
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm all over it, and I was like, should I abuse this text message just once? I really won't because it's inappropriate, but I really want to be like, will you please do it? Because I just think it would be a great story.
Yeah, well, she hasn't done anything in so long.
4 years. 4 years in terms of
in TV life.
It is a long time. And she wants to make a comeback, and I'm like, this is the open door.
Oh yeah. Well, and I feel like everybody who comes onto the show goes on to do even greater things because they learn so much about themselves and they learn a different type of work ethic because it is seriously unlike anything anyone has ever experienced. It's a unique experience.
Do you have one celebrity that you just like, they came on the show and you're like, oh my gosh, we're just best friends. We just got along really well.
Oh my gosh, I feel like that about
Everyone?
quite a few. Not everyone. Mr. T, guys. Oh my gosh, his heart is just the warmest thing ever. You just like always want to be around him because he's just so cute and you just can't stop smiling.
His
because
tweets
he's
made me fall in love.
Guys, he's so cute. He writes out his tweets and then I think his son tweets them for him.
Kim told me that too. She was like,
oh my gosh, it's so cute.
He like messages.
Writes them out and then he reads them on his like Instagram Live or Kim's Instagram or whatever. And it's just so cute. He's so cute. I think this season is one of my favorites.
Oh, really? One. That's great.
In terms of cast, it was such a great cast. Rashad's amazing. Simone's amazing. I'm drawing a blank of everyone. Everyone was so great. Erica Jane was really nice. I really loved her.
I felt like Erica Jane, because I love her on Beverly Hills Housewives, and I'm like, I felt like she got like, we didn't get to see the real Erica Jane. Do you know what I mean? And I thought, because I'm like, she's amazing. I love her so much. And then I was like, I don't feel like I know Erica Jane on this show. I know Erica Jane on this show. So.
Well, yeah, on her show, they focus on personality.
Yeah. And then dancing, like when you're dancing on live TV, it just, if you get nervous, it can change how you feel.
I mean, she's an awesome performer and an awesome artist. I love her stuff and I love her on the show. And she is such a down-to-earth person. It was so cool to get to know her.
I love
that. David Ross.
Oh,
I adore him so much. He is such a good person. I'm like, can you just adopt me, please?
I know. And Lindsay always has these great partnerships too, where everyone just seems to like get along really well. It seems very easy.
Lindsay is a very easy person to just be with. She is by far the most like what you see is what you get kind of person, great. And she pulls that out of her partners, and they become such a great team.
It's a rare quality. That's hard to do.
Yeah, and it's so funny. David Ross reminds me so much of Lindsay's dad.
Oh, that's funny.
It's crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Did she see that similarity?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we talked about it. I was like, you remind me of her dad, and he's like, really? Lindsay said the same thing.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Have they told you guys anything about Dancing with the Stars Junior and how season 26 will play out? I mean, I emailed directly to the ABC publicist, and it was literally like, fall is season 25, spring is Dancing with the Stars Junior, and then season 26 was to be determined sometime in 2018. They didn't say whether it was going to be spring or summer or fall.
You probably know more than I do.
Yeah, I didn't know if they had given like, hey guys, just a heads up, this might play out this way.
From my understanding, I think that they're doing a fall season, and then
for sure,
kids are in the spring, and then I think we're back in the fall.
Yeah, so
I think that's what it is.
Any word that you guys might be involved in Dancing with the Stars Junior? Nothing. I have to see. This is where she's like, go scoop and let me know.
Like, you let me know on that one.
Yeah, I will.
Oh, man.
I know. I have to start asking around about that one because I just, like some of the kids, like.
I think a lot of things are in the making right now.
Yeah, and we'll see. We'll see what happens too. I mean, ABC probably won't be showing their cards on this, but I wonder if some of the kids from like, So You Think You Can Dance last summer, Next Gen, like
I'm sure.
Like Jake.
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, Jake's been on Dancing with the Stars a lot last season also.
He's a charmer.
I mean, I think it'll be awesome. I mean, having been on the like kids episode or whatever, I think it'd be cool to see what they do from that.
Yes. I know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would love to be a part of it, but we'll see.
You can come in and choreograph, but not hip hop, right? Not hip hop.
Just not these moves.
You're like this.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be fine. I'd make it work, but I wouldn't put those dance moves in it.
What about where do you want to be like in the next 5 years? Like, do you have like a game plan? Do you have like the Brittany like goal list for dance?
I don't like setting goals.
Well, that is very honest.
Honestly,
I love that.
I like being prepared for everything that's going to come my way. I think without spreading myself too thin, putting energy into choreography and putting energy into like commercial and acting and putting energy into my own little projects, just to be the most well-rounded person and well-rounded performer that I can be. I would love to be a pro on the show. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that
would be a great thing to happen in the next 5 years.
Have you, do you put it out there? Like, do you have, like, hey, if there's a pro spot, I want it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they know that we all want to be a pro.
Of course, yeah.
I think that goes without saying, but I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I love choreographing. I love performing. I love collaborating. I love sharing experiences and creating with people. That's like my favorite thing in the world. I don't really like doing it by myself.
When you choreograph, is there like someone in the back of your head that you like has mentored you, or someone that you love watching because you're like, I love their work as a choreographer or their process?
That's a hard question. I admire so many different choreographers for so many different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I think as far as choreography on the show, I try to watch as many dance like ballroom competitions as possible because they have such a different mentality of choreography, and it's such a different type of movement that's always changing. And I always like to like watch that to get a little inspired. I love watching
Ballroom competitions are great.
Danielle and Pasha, do you know who they are?
Yes,
I love watching them. Oh, they're amazing. But as far as like inspos, I don't know. I love watching like Talia Flavia's work. It's so moving. I love watching stuff like that to like storytell.
Yeah.
I think Philip Shabib is an amazing choreographer and creator and storyteller. He's unreal. Things like that. Things that move me and get emotions out of me. I feel like those are the choreographers and the creators that I look up to and aspire to be like. And I always want to create movement, like move people with my work. That's always the goal.
Are you choreographing for other people? Like, are you getting hired out? Because I know a lot of people will go to studios and choreograph solos and stuff for other. That's great.
Yeah, I do that. I'm also, I'm just putting energy out there. I'd love to choreograph for artists or do more things like the Ed Sheeran music video. I mean, I don't really know that there's many out there because he's already done it. And, like, how can you top that, really?
You can't top that one, but.
but things like that and just creating for people and projects and movies. I'd love to do anything and everything, really.
I like that. I like that. You just never know, because it is one of those things, like the dance career, you have to always like keep your eye on what's happening too, because you're like, I'm going to dance, but if I'm not dancing, am I choreographing, am I directing?
Exactly.
I look at Nappy Tab's career and the path that they have created, because they've taken it from choreographer to like creative director to executive producer. They're going to be running the world soon enough.
They're unreal. I think those dynamic duos, Nappy Tabs, Nick and RJ, Randy and Heffa are amazing teams. I love Keon. Keon has created an entire empire for himself, and although it's a very, very different avenue, he is killing it, and I'm always inspired and like wowed by whatever he's doing.
Yeah, because he involves like directing and photography and film work. He has his own studio.
So creative. His studio is beautiful.
We went to were you at the opening of the studio? I was at the opening of the studio. No. I brought my husband. He was like, what is this? He's like, this is amazing. And then he had like a runway show. And I was like, there's Jasmine. Like, and I hadn't seen her in so long because she had been, on tour with Beyonce. Like, whatever, no big deal.
Being amazing.
Yeah. And I was like, It was really a fascinating night because of the way he incorporates things. He has a big visual picture of what he wants to create.
I cannot wait to see like everything that he does with his career because he's so talented.
And he figured it out young. That is what I'm always amazed.
His niche. Niche.
You can say niche or you can say niche.
Guys, I don't know how to talk.
You're great. Don't you worry. By the way, I do love this photo that I pulled up.
Oh my gosh.
It's Paul and Alan.
Oh my gosh.
And you and Jenna. And it is still on the Fox Archive site, by the way. Come on, that's your first week.
That's hysterical.
Isn't that great? But I love that you guys are all out there and still working. You're all...
We just got to get Paul on Dancing with the Stars.
I know. What is the hold up on that?
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I need my Paul room.
I know. Everyone needs a little bit of Paul room. I love that.
We love Paul.
And if we're not going to say what you're doing yet because you can't say, but you're working on a project with him right now.
We are. We're working on some fun things right now, and we're about to do some traveling, and we can't wait to share with everyone.
I've been watching like the rehearsal, like Insta stories. So.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're always obsessed with Insta story.
I love it. Well, one final question for you. For dancers that, look up to you, dancers like that want to make the move to LA and do this as a career, what's your advice to them?
I would say that confidence is key. I think confidence is so underestimated. There's so many amazing, amazing, talented dancers out here. And like I was saying earlier, I had a very, very different journey as the other girls on the show. I have been in the industry and not had work and had to hustle and had to go to auditions almost every single day with 300 beautiful, tall, long-legged women. You know, it's a different life, and there's a lot of really big lessons to be learned. And I think that there's so many talented people, but they're not confident in their talent. And so if you're going to come out here and do it, you better own it, and you better go for it, because it will happen if you go for it. You just got to believe in yourself.
Yeah, cream rises to the top. Hard work.
Yeah.
Got to put it in.
Yeah, you got to put in the hard work. No one's going to make anything happen for you except for yourself. And that's the hard truth about it.
That's good advice, too. It really is good advice for LA, too, because there's the talent pool. Like, I worked in New York before I came out to LA. Talent pool here is quadruple what it is in New York. It's amazing.
It's a different world here.
Yep.
It's its own world, and you get sucked into it and you fall in love with it, but it's the hardest world to be a part of.
It is. We're in this like weird little bubble.
It is. But yeah, anyone who wants to move out here and make their dreams come true, just come out with an open mind and a good head on your shoulders and confidence.
And a lot of heart.
Yes, all the heart in the world. Honestly, confidence gets you more jobs than good dancing.
It's true. That is true.
If you're doing the wrong dance moves, but you're killing it, and you're like, I am killing it, even though this is wrong, people are like, I like you.
Yeah, you're like, you're in.
Hired.
Done.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad I'm Brittany Cherry adjacent, but I got to meet you.
We're finally friends. We finally have met face to face. I'm so happy that I was able to come on Popcorn Talk.
I know. This is ridiculous that it took this long, though.
I know. Well, I'm sure I'll be back in.
I hope so.
Soon.
Just remind everyone where they can find you online.
Guys, you can find me online at Dance10Brittany on Instagram and Twitter. You can find my website on those sites also, and I can't wait to hear all your thoughts about our interview.
I love that. And you guys, next week, obviously next week is 4th of July, but we had pre-taped a show with Kayla Radomski. So I love her, I know, from So You Think You Can Dance. She will be, we're going to stream it on Monday, July 3rd at 3 p.m. And then, of course, you can archive it and watch it all week long. Thank you so much for joining us here at To The Point. We'll see you live in 2 weeks.
Bye.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.